This video is for students who missed chemistry in a Ziploc bag and need to make up the lab. The lab sheet that you should have has chemistry in a Ziploc bag at the top. On the first page of the lab, there is a chart on which you're going to make observations. And on the second page of the lab, there are several questions that you'll need to process and answer about what happened. The materials we're using for this lab are the following: calcium chloride, sodium bicarbonate, about 10 milliliters of phenol red, and a Ziploc bag. Okay, we'll first start by taking a spoonful of calcium chloride, and we'll put that into one corner of the bag. Okay, so that's in one corner. We'll take a spoonful of sodium bicarbonate, better known as baking soda, and we'll put that into the other corner of the bag. Okay, so I have both compounds inside of the bag, and they're separated. The phenol red is going to go right in the middle. I'm going to try to press out as much air as possible. And seal the bag. Okay, so we have both compounds inside. On your observation sheet, it's asking you to make observations before the reaction. So right now, we can say that the plastic bag is deflated. What does the calcium chloride look like? Well, some students described it earlier as looking like dipping dots, although I wouldn't eat it. But they look like small round pellets. The sodium bicarbonate is a very fine powder, for both the colors white, of course. Phenol red is a liquid, and it's red. Phenol red is an acid indicator. We talked about acid indicators in class some days ago. We used pH paper, which was a more specific kind of acid indicator, because the phenol red paper that we used several weeks ago would change color or change to a shade of color that was specific to the pH for that liquid. Phenol red is less specific. Whenever it comes in contact with an acid, regardless of the pH, it is going to change colors. It's going to change to a yellow color. Okay, not varying shades of yellow, but just one yellow color, one shade. Okay, the second column on your sheet says during the reaction. So I'm going to go ahead and start the reaction, and we'll start to make a few observations there. I'm going to pour it into the calcium chloride side first. Okay, notice that the color is staying basically the same, or maybe it's a little pink, only because we're mixing a pink substance, a red substance with a white substance, and of course that's going to make it pink. But I'm noticing that the calcium chloride is getting very, very warm. It's actually getting very hot. Okay, due to the fact that this phenol red is staying red, that tells me that this calcium chloride is not acidic. And it would have done the same had I poured it over into the baking soda side first. It would have stayed that red color. which is an indication that it's not acidic. It does not have acidic properties. Now let's mix everything. Okay, immediately you noticed when both compounds mixed, now we get that yellow color. So what does that tell us? If phenyl red is an acid indicator, and we get the yellow color when only when both compounds mix, that tells us that we get an acid that forms when both of those compounds come together. I'm going to let a little of the air out of this. You can certainly observe all of many of the chemical reaction indicators that we talked about in class. A gas being formed, the bag is inflating, of course. I felt the bag get really, really warm. Now I'm feeling the bag get really, really cold. So at first we observed an exothermic process because the bag got really, really warm. And now it's getting really cold. There are a variety of reactions going on in here, and one of them is actually using that heat that was produced earlier to drive another reaction. And so by the simple fact that I'm feeling the bag get really, really cold now, that tells me that there's an endothermic reaction taking place in here also. Okay, so we got color changes, we got gas formation, we got energy changes to mean that the bag is getting warm and then it gets cold. The calcium chloride pellets have completely dissolved. Now the whole bag is cold. Okay, so all of those things are things that you can say about what happened during the reaction. Okay, the reaction is about done now, and in the column for after the reaction, basically we can say that, you know, everything's yellow. All of the solid compounds have dissolved. The gas is still present. Okay, the gas that's created is carbon dioxide. So the color is more of like a milky yellow all the way around. Okay. Now, using what you've observed in this demonstration, answer questions 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 on the back of your lab sheet. If you have any questions, please see me in class.